The contestants on The Biggest Loser lost an average of 100 to 200 pounds, and many of them 6 years later gained back 70% of the weight that they lost. According to Sandra Armand, a neuroscientist, explained the contestants' weight loss as a dramatic example of how the body fights back against weight loss, and the sheer force of willpower is rarely sufficient enough to fight back. Many of you have probably gone through a similar situation where you lost weight, but despite all your efforts, you gained it back a couple months later. You may have blamed yourself for not following the diet or eating too many chips. So it's not completely your fault. Your brain and your body have more control over your weight than you may think. Dieting is a short-term solution to weight loss, and it often causes you to gain more weight and have negative health consequences. So today I'm going to discuss the mechanisms your brain uses to resist weight loss, how your thoughts and behaviors during dieting can affect your health, and how healthy habits can keep you healthier than dieting can. There are many different types of diets. There's the Atkins diet, keto diet, juice cleanse diet, and what all these diets have in common is that they restrict what you eat and drink. And although you may lose some weight at the beginning, it's not necessarily good for long term because your brain is monitoring your weight fluctuation and it doesn't like it when you lose weight. And so it uses 3 mechanisms to resist weight loss. First, it increases your hunger by releasing ghrelin, which is a hormone that controls your hunger. It slows down your metabolism or your ability to burn calories, and it increases your fat storage and production. So why does our brain not want us to lose weight? Well, it's because our brain is hardwired to protect us from starvation. And it does this by creating a set point, which is the ideal body weight for survival. And as you start losing weight, your weight goes below your set point. And your body sort of panics because it thinks that you're starving and you don't have enough food to eat. So it uses these 3 mechanisms to increase your weight back to your set point. So if you go back to the beginning of my speech, I talked about the contestants on The Biggest Loser, and this can explain why many of them regain 70% of their weight back. It's because their brain is trying to make them return back to their set point weights. And so far we've looked at how our brain resists weight loss by using mechanisms, and now we can look at why dieting can often be harmful to our health. When you go on a diet, you are changing your behaviors and thoughts. You're thinking about food all the time. You're thinking about what you should and should not be eating. You're creating a body image of yourself, of what will you look like after you successfully complete your diet. And you behave differently by avoiding, restricting, and controlling the foods that you eat. And all of these thoughts and behaviors that come from dieting create stress. And according to Dr. Melanie Klock, a researcher from Amsterdam University, says when you're under stress and when you restrict your calorie intake, your brain releases a hormone called cortisol, which is a stress hormone. And when cortisol is released, it tells your body to start storing more fat, which leads to more weight loss, results in more weight gain. And this excess weight gain can put you at risk for heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and increased blood pressure. Dr. Allison Ford, a researcher from the Harvard Medical School, looked at preteens and teenagers who went on a diet and found that 5 years after they had not only gained the weight plus more weight, but they had also put themselves at risk for eating disorders and binge eating behaviors. And so what we can learn from this study is that the teenagers and preteens who could not maintain their weight loss created negative thoughts about themselves, and their thoughts impacted their behavior of either starvation or binge eating as they became adults. So far we've looked at how thoughts and behaviors from dieting can often impact our health negatively. So what can we do to make ourselves healthier? We can adopt healthy habits. According to Eric Matheson, a researcher from the Medical University of South Carolina, looked at obese participants ranging from normal to obese body mass index, or BMI. And the obese participants who adopted at least one healthy habit, such as not smoking, eating 5 servings of fruit and vegetables a day, exercising regularly, and moderating their alcohol consumption, had a decreased risk of mortality compared to obese participants who did not adopt any of these health habits. He also looked at participants who adopted all 4 of these habits and found that there was no difference in mortality rate between obese and normal participants. So this shows that you don't necessarily have to lose weight to be healthy, as long as you adopt some type of healthy habit. Dr. Sandra Armand, a neuroscientist, also describes dieters who are people who focus on rules and restrictive behaviors to control their eating. However, this often exhausts their willpower to control their eating. And so she recommends that you sort of push aside these restrictive behaviors and rules and to listen to what your body needs. And if it's hungry, you should feed it. If it's not, you should stop eating. And you should also find ways to manage stress so you don't overeat. And these 2 strategies will help you maintain your weight or help you lose some weight without restrictions or deprivations. So weight loss from diets are often temporary and come with adverse health effects. Our brain overrides our willpower to lose weight and will reverse our weight loss. It may seem that the brain has final control over our weight. However, we can still take control over our health by adopting health habits. So the next time you feel hungry and you want to eat something, pay attention to what your body needs. If you're stressed out, then you should probably find some ways to handle stress without emotionally overeating. Or if you're not actually hungry but you still have that urge to eat, you're probably thirsty, so drink some water. And if you're truly hungry, you should eat whatever it is that you need, and stop eating when you're full. Thank you.